The mirror from room 313. When I was 19, I worked as a part-time front desk clerk at a rundown Victorian hotel in a small town in Pennsylvania. It wasn't one of those charming inns with ivy and roses. No, this one had long, drafty hallways, threadbare carpets, and a silence that felt heavy. Room 313 was at the very end of the West Wing. It hadn't been used in over a decade. Guests who stayed near it would often complain about strange noises, whispers, tapping, the sound of someone walking barefoot on tile. Management always brushed it off. Old pipes, thin walls. You know the drill. But we all knew there was something wrong with that room. The housekeeper, an old woman named Lorraine, refused to even open the door. She said the last person who stayed in there died in their sleep, face contorted in terror. The body wasn't found for 3 days. I thought it was just a ghost story they used to haze new hires. Until the hotel changed hands, and the new owner decided to renovate. One of the first things they did was clear out the unused rooms. I was asked to supervise movers while they emptied 313. I didn't think much of it. I brought my clipboard, unlocked the door, and stepped inside. It was freezing, not just cold, freezing. My breath fogged in the air. The room was intact, bed still made, dresser untouched, a dusty Bible on the nightstand. But what caught my eye was the mirror above the dresser. It wasn't hotel standard. It looked old, really old. Ornate gold frame, black spots of age eating into the glass. It didn't reflect light properly. In fact, it barely reflected at all. More like it absorbed. I was staring at it when one of the movers walked in. Big guy. Name was Dave. As soon as he saw the mirror, he stopped. "You're not moving that thing, right?" he asked. I laughed. "Why not?" He didn't answer, just muttered something about bad juju, and turned away. When they started moving furniture, I stepped out into the hall to take a call. I was gone maybe 10 minutes. When I came back in, the room was empty, except for Dave. He was sitting on the floor, staring into the mirror. His lips were moving, but no sound came out. I called his name. Nothing. I stepped closer and touched his shoulder, and he screamed. A horrible, primal scream, like a man being burned alive. He shoved me so hard I hit the wall, then sprinted out the room, yelling, "Don't let it follow you, don't let it follow." I was shaken, but I told myself it was stress. Maybe he had some kind of episode. I left the room alone after that, but that night, I couldn't sleep. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw the mirror, its black, hungry surface. A week later, the hotel owner called me in to help inventory some of the storage units. Turns out, room 313's furniture had been moved to a basement storage facility across town, including the mirror. He opened the door to the unit and flicked on the light. And there it was, leaning against the far wall. The mirror. As I stared at it, I noticed something odd. My reflection wasn't quite right. It was smiling. I wasn't. I blinked, rubbed my eyes, looked again. This time, my reflection had turned its head, just slightly, to the side. I backed out and told the owner I wasn't feeling well. That was the last time I went near that storage unit. Over the next few months, weird things started happening to people who interacted with the mirror. Dave quit his job and left town. No one heard from him again. Another mover had a seizure 3 days after handling it. Doctors couldn't explain it. The hotel owner? He put the mirror up for auction after a few failed attempts to sell it online. It ended up in a local antique store. I found this out only because A year later, I walked into that same shop on accident, trying to get out of the rain. And there it was, front and center. A little card beneath it read, "Antique Gilded Mirror, circa 1890. Local legend claims haunted, not responsible for supernatural experiences." I stared at it for a long time. The rain beat hard against the window. My reflection seemed stiller than me, like it was waiting. I left without saying a word. That was 5 years ago. 2 nights ago, I came home from work to find a large package by my door. No return label, no note. Inside was the mirror. I didn't touch it. I didn't look into it. It's in the garage now, covered in a tarp. But sometimes, when I'm lying in bed, I swear I hear it whispering my name.